Hey guys, welcome back to Peak Health Revolution. My name is Logan Grundy, and today I'm going to be taking you through the sequence of exercises that I use to completely eliminate my knee pain, going from being able to only walk about 500-600 meters with pain, all the way to a 125-kilometer hike with zero pain, including having a pack on. So what we're going to need for this to eliminate that pain is a simple glute band, voodoo or compression floss, probably two of them. You can get by with one, but two is definitely better. And then a barbell. So I'm going to walk you through the entire process that I use to eliminate that pain, which includes a barbell smash, a couch stretch, an HEG split squat, some glute work, and of course the banded work. So I'm going to take you through all of that. We're going to start over here with the barbell. First thing we want to do is get into that tissue and try to break it up and release some of the tension that's in there. I like to use it up against the wall because it allows me to relax a little bit more and get into those. So we're going to take about 1 to 2 minutes to do one single leg. And then you would obviously do the other leg if you were having troubles with both. But you want to start up nice and high, put as much pressure down as you possibly can where you can still handle it. So you'll notice that I'm able to still carry a conversation. I'm not holding my breath. Those are the kind of cues that you're looking for as far as pressure. You want the most pressure you can handle without your nervous system going into like a guarded position essentially. So lots of pressure here for me because things are feeling good. And you're rolling really, really slow. You're thinking about creating like a giant wave of pressure starting up here. And we'll go right down to the kneecap basically. You never want to do this heavy work over any joints, but you can come right up to them. So nice and slow. And we're just coming up to a spot here that's going to get a bit uncomfortable for me. So as you find these more uncomfortable spots, what you want to do is slow down even more. You're already going slow, like basically to a crawl, even not moving it for a minute here. And then as that starts to dissipate and I can take it a little bit more, then continue forward. If you're really bad here, you might actually have to loosen off on the pressure a little bit. Right now I'm putting a bit of pressure down. You might have to just let the weight of the barbell or even lift it up a little bit. But you're going to just slowly work down that. And oftentimes what you're going to feel as you're going through this is that you're going to feel little like twitches or jumps in the muscle, and that's fine and that's good. What we're looking for is to get a little bit of that. That's essentially, think of those tight muscle fibers, like letting go a little bit, letting some of that tension out. So we're going to go all the way down. I'm almost to the kneecap here, and then we will do a couple more passes. So what I like to do is one straight down the middle, one where I take that inner edge a little bit more. I'm not into the adductors here, but just still on quad, but getting more on this angle so that I'm going to get over this VMO, that kind of teardropped muscle of your quad. And then what you'll do lastly is you'll take this whole sequence and take it out to the outside. What you have to, or you want to do that just a little bit different. I'll show you guys in a second here. But you want to kind of support it with either your other leg or like a towel or a yoga block or something with that, just so that there's not extra force going into your knee, especially if you have had some knee issues in the past. That's going to be important for you. So right as where this kind of like teardrop portion of your quad kind of meets the rest, tends to be a pretty sticky point that you want to spend time at. And you'll notice that as you roll over it, you'll be like, yeah, that is a spot for me. So this is the first one we're doing, and I like to do these in this order because I feel like you get the soft tissue work done and then you go into the stretching. It's like trying to undo a knot in your shoe. You kind of want to soften that knot up a little bit and then try and pull that string through, versus if you just start pulling on it, I feel like sometimes you end up with it just tightens that knot almost a little bit. So now we're on this outer edge. Similar to the inner one where we're not on the adductors, here we're not on the IT band. We're kind of on the very edge of it. So like where that IT band and the quad are kind of like meeting each other, if you will, that's where we want to be. A lot of the times we'll get some adhesion through there, and we want to start to break that up a little bit. So you can see that I've stuck my other leg under now so that this knee's supported, versus if I was just like this, it's just hanging in space. And that's not great if we're putting that pressure down with the barbell. So I like to have something tucked under there supporting it. And two, with these, if you find that you have maybe this outer edge or the inner edge or somewhere where it's more sensitive, just obviously spend more time in that area specifically, and work on that most tender area. So this is getting that tissue kind of broken up a little bit, releasing some of the tension in there. I'm just going to show you guys the one side. Obviously, you want to do both sides, especially if both are an issue for you. The next one that I'm going to go into is going to be my ATG split squat. If you have great mobility, you do this straight from the ground, but most of us want to be up on a bench or a box, and you're just going to come in and out of this a couple of times here. I like to do about 12. This is great for the knee because it doesn't often get to hit these end ranges, and it gets stronger in those end ranges, gets more stable, and over time you can lower the surface. The lower the surface, the harder it's going to be for you. And now what we'll do, we'll go into the couch stretch. So you can do this up against a wall, or you can use something like this, a bench. So in this case, obviously my ankle is just kind of hooked over the edge of the bench. If you had a wall, it would be up on the wall. If you can't get up into this position, that's fine. Start down low here. And then what you're going to do is just think about squeezing this glute, which is going to push this hip forward a little bit and add stretch to the quad. So if you're down here and this is already enough and you're almost wanting to guard with your breathing and you're like, this is really tight, just hang out here, take your time, let it relax. And then when you feel ready, start squeezing that glute, relaxing that glute, squeeze that glute, relax it. Try and do it to your breath. So you inhale just normal and then squeeze that glute, hold your breath for a couple seconds. Then on the exhale, try and drop a little bit further into that stretch. So if you're here, that's great. If you can get up onto this knee, great. If you can get all the way up to here, great. But what we don't want to see is that you're breaking through your back to get there. So if you can get there with a nice, good position, a little bit of tension in your core will help with that. And then get up to there and then squeeze that glute still in that sequence. Relax, squeeze, relax. That just helps your nervous system and the muscles kind of balance each other a little bit by getting that contraction and relaxing of the muscles. And you want to spend, honestly, like probably 2 to 3 minutes here. I'm going to go a little bit faster than that just for the sake of the video for you guys. But the longer you spend here, typically the better. A lot of us are sitting for our jobs and our hips are in flexion a lot, so similar to this side. So getting it opened up, we can pretty much all benefit from more time in this position versus less. There's not too many cases where it's like, yeah, you know what, you're probably good with a minute. Go 2 minutes, go 3 minutes. And then what you want to do after you've done that one is our final one. And I would highly suggest taking these with you if you're going to go out for a run or a hike or something like that and doing it each day, start and end of that activity. It's a compression band basically. So compression floss or voodoo floss is what you'll find it under. And what we want to do is, this is obviously no tension in it. This would be 100. We want to be about 50. So fair amount of tension on it. Your body will kind of tell you if it's too much or not enough. Basically, you're going to find a little bump just below the knee. That's about where you want to start. So you have a couple options here. You can wrap right over the knee, or you can do one below, one above. I like to go right over, but there are some scenarios where you might not want to do that. A little bit of personal preference in there as well. So I'm going to wrap it all the way. Then on my last wrap, I just slide my fingers in there, take the band, tuck it through, give myself a little tail to pull out by. Then you're going to take your second band, start with a little bit of overlap there, and continue up over that knee. So you're covering that entire knee fairly tight. You want enough that it is restricting blood flow, but not so much that you're instantly like thinking, I have no blood flow. Your body will tell you on this one if you need to back it off if it's too tight, or if it's too loose, you're just going to feel like it did nothing. So it's pretty tight now. And what we want to do is go through a full range of motion with that. It's going to pull at that skin a little bit. That's okay. It's going to be uncomfortable. Hang out in the bottom of a squat, and then really try and move around just a little bit in that position and bring it forward and back. Basically, we're trying to just take that knee through a good full range of motion while this is on. We want it on for about 1 to 2 minutes. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's going to work some serious magic on that knee. So I like to get some squats in, and then I'll drop into a lunge and just push that as far as I can out over. And then I'll come out of it, get it all the way straight, and just work back and forth through that for a little while. What you'll see when I take it off is that it's immediately a little bit like whiter, and then it flushes a little pink or red. That tells us we're right in that neighborhood of what we want for how much tension we want on there. That we're restricting the blood flow. Then when we open it up, we like give it a big rush of blood flow. And that helps really clear out that knee and get some fresh blood in there, everything that you need to heal that knee. So when you take it off, you just grab your little tab that you left hanging out, take one off, and then into the second one. And you can see the redness there and the kind of whiter color below it as I take it off, and then it eventually all flushes red there. So that's what you want to do. That is the actual like quad and knee sequence that I used to get out of knee pain. What is missing there is that a lot of knee pain is also coming from weak glutes. So that's where the glute band comes in. Very, very simple exercise here. Put it around your feet, and then you're just gonna, a little bit of a bend, like a bit of an athletic stance. I like to have hands on my hips to kind of cue me a little bit, and then you're gonna step sideways here. I like to do about 10 to 12 going each direction, but it'll depend on your strength there. So once you start feeling it through the glutes, that's kind of where you're ending. You don't want to go too far beyond that and start having your knee cave in. So when I do this, as you watch, what we don't want to do is when we step out that knee's caved in like this and we're doing this and then we're just pushing back out. You want to be there, stay strong through that knee and push out. And same thing as this one comes in, we don't want to do this and drag it. It's step, step. So that's one of the two exercises that you will do. The other one, same thing, forward and back though. So again, same cues, a little bit of a bend, and then you're trying to step and just keep those glutes engaged and not having that knee come in. Then same thing, coming back. And you'll be feeling that burning through your glutes. That will start to strengthen your glutes, give you more stability in the hips. That will assist in your knees. So that is everything that I used to get through the knee pain that I used to deal with and be able to crush mountains with zero pain.